Sorbian, talking about noun classes. Sorbian grammars will describe these as inflectional classes. So you will have an inflectional class that will take the suffix yo for the plural. There is another inflectional class that takes the suffix ye, and then a third inflectional class that takes the suffix e. Well, these inflectional classes, apart from being inflectional classes, they're not all of the inflectional classes in Sorbian, but these are also connected and associated with very specific meanings. So the class that takes yo covers males, especially virile persons, and it also covers scum, low-life characters, anything that's like boorish and stuff. So that is the correspondent of the wild theory, like women, fire, and dangerous things. The Sorbian people put males and low-life things into one and the same category. But that's very specific for an inflectional class. So that's not general at all. Now, living beings and things, they come to be sort of more general, but they're still very specific. So even things that are thought of as inflectional may have very specific senses associated with them. Another thing is that inflected forms are semantically regular. So you put the tense, you expect tense, you don't expect anything else. Derived forms can be irregular, so you put a causative, you get something else. You put a passive, you get a reflexive, or you get something completely different. Now, the meaning of inflectional categories is not all, you need to have tense in order to function, but in many cases it is redundant. Our Turkish grammar forces you to use tense. In Mandarin, you go by without the morphological tense, you still make your point across. Many of derivational categories tend to be relevant for whatever, like there. And I know it's getting late, and I was gonna go through the causatives again, but you'll get them as homework. So the position of the affix, I've tried to jam it in as much as I can. I showed you the Turkish causative. Here I have examples from Swedish. So we have the root, right? Derivational suffix for agent, and then the inflection for definite. So you get the form the printer. Exercised, the past tense of the verb optionera. So you have the noun exercise, the derivational morpheme, and then the past tense. Okay? So derivation preceding inflection. We'll look at Oromo, which is a Cushitic language from Kenya, and just like in Turkish, causative is next to the stem, followed by the person number and tense. So when the causative is there, see, the tenses and the numbers have to be there on a verb form. When the causative is there, it will push them to the periphery of a form. It will go close to the stem. So this is how we know. The productivity of the process is very important. With inflection, we expect wholesale coverage. With derivation, we expect that it can stop haphazardly at any point, at any time. And then inflection will lead to fewer stem changes than derivation. The content of the affix. In inflection, you will get cumulative expressions. So in one and the same thing, you will get jumping person and number and tense. Whereas in derivation, you keep them clean, but there are also cumulative expressions even in derivation. So in English, the X, as in brunette, kitchenette, maisonette, it does have a feminine in it, and it also has the diminutive. So this brunette, you don't expect a huge one. You expect somebody small. And with the kitchenette, I mean, it's you don't get bachelors having kitchenettes. Then inflectional suffixes cannot be iterated, so you can only put one D on the ends to express the past tense. Inflection can be iterated. So my great-great-great-grandmother got pra, I can iterate in Bulgarian, it will get tedious after a while, but people will understand that I'm talking to somebody several generations ago. And similar intensifier suffixes in Swedish, you can iterate them as well. So I've summarized all of these features that I went through. Put them in a table. This is what we're going to start with next time. I want you to think about the Turkish causative and the Turkish passive in terms of these features. Fill the table. Okay. I want you also to think about the English derivation of adverbs ending on "ly." Prettily, beautifully, in terms of these features, and compare this with English adjectival morphological comparison. Prettier, prettiest. So this is going to be our start exercise next time. Turkish causative versus Turkish passive. How inflectional or hard derivational do they get if we assess them by these features? And I mean, you speak English well enough, so you can assess the adverb derivation. But if it gets too much, stick to the Turkish data, because on Turkish data you will have native speaker intuition. So I would very much like you to do both. Okay. And thank you for coming and listening. I know it's late.